You're gonna get back revved, hillbilly style.
Right. Dead by Daylight is a game developed by Behavior and published on June 14th, 2016. It is a part of the asymmetrical horror game genre and is by far the most popular one in it. Anyway, here's why it fucking sucks. Survivor is the most played role of the game, seen as how they outnumber the killer 4 to 1. The survivors must work together in order to outrun and survive the killer using whatever they have at their disposal, such as items, pallets, and their own movement, all while repairing generators to open a gate and escape the killer's grasp. At least, that's what they actually would do in an idealized world when nothing bad ever happens. What actually ends up happening is that the survivors spend from either 5 minutes up to half a goddamn hour running around like headless chickens trying to repair generators, or while you get chased down by a black woman and her overgrown chihuahua who's entirely reliant on your FPS. Now, of course, a game that takes such a long, sometimes, time between matches would mean that the gameplay itself would have to entertain the player for the entire duration. Let's see how the survivors play the game, shall we?
Cannot. I cannot fucking stand hillbilly players.
So that's why you call it back.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's not really that good. The main thing you're going to be doing if the killer isn't an absolute brainlet is going to be being chased. And sure, being chased can be pretty fun. Then you realize that all you're doing for the entire game is playing Ring Around the Rosie with a guy that looks like a bruised testicle. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention the mind games that take place during chase, except half of them don't work if you can actively see the killer around the loop. That includes the little period blood that appears in front of them to signal where they're looking. The only real mind game is the ever so humble pallet, except the pallets are extremely varied in their usefulness depending on the surrounding area, either being in a structure that forces the killer to break it if they don't want to waste valuable time, or is in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, meaning that unless the killer walks into it, you will get nothing out of it. Owen, what about your objectives? I am actively falling asleep. This is a skill check. It is a poor attempt to distract you from the fact that working on a generator is basically you holding down the mouse button for 1.5 minutes. Their secondary use is popping up specifically when you try to scratch your nose. Now, what if I told you that besides all its faults, all its boring gameplay, and all its reliance on teammates who specifically chose to play this game, Survivor is the power role? Ladies and gentlemen,
Michael! Don't leave me here! Michael! Michael! Help me!
do you think that when God banished Lucifer to hell for believing humans don't deserve free will, that he would have foreseen the creation of something so evil, so disgusting, so utterly vile that it would cause even the mightiest of men to succumb to their own hatred and be consumed by unending malice? That evil burst from the deepest pits of hell on earth. Quebec, Canada, is Dead by Daylight killer gameplay. Killer, the main selling point of the game, featuring such beloved horror mascots as Guy with Traps, Evil Nurse, Bubba, and what the fuck? Needless to say, the roster of killers in this game is extremely varied and interesting. At least visually. Because every killer boils down to chase Survivor and hit them twice, except each one has a different gimmick, ranging from utter doo-doo to ref, do something! Excluding Skull Merchant. Skull Merchant doesn't have an ability. Her power is giving the survivors the ability to play stratagem hero. At least one of them loves freedom. Now, you might say, hey, that's not that bad. At least I get to actually kill people. Wrong. The only way to kill someone is putting them on a hook 3 times. And if you manage to kill the other 3 survivors and get one on the floor, only then can you actually kill the bastard. Unless you're playing fucking Michael Myers. Killer gameplay boils down to 3 things. Managing your time, getting a good map, and hoping that the survivor team you're up against were dropped on their heads as babies and are clearly high on copious amounts of glue. Now, if I'm being honest, killer gameplay can be fun. Chasing people in order to hit them with your preferred weapon of choice is entertaining. It scratches that monkey part of our brains that goes, hit with stick, and that's alright. However, the more you play the game, the more you realize that the survivor dictates the chase. So at some point, you start getting people who know how to play the game, causing you to waste time. And time is the one thing a killer shouldn't waste. So you look at this, and then you look at your roster, and you realize that in the end, there's only like 3-4 real options. Okay, not really, but the majority of the roster sucks. So, you have less fun because you can't play your favorite character. The survivors don't have fun because you're playing the strongest killer in the game, leading you to fall into a habit of deriving happiness from the other team's suffering, which in return forces both killers and survivors into playing to win, instead of playing for fun.
Just hit him! He's one shot. Yeah.
Here's the perk system in a nutshell. Survivors get perks that baby them when they make mistakes. Killer has perks that keep being nerfed. Both of them are blocked behind paywalls or grinding. Man, this game sucks. But it's so addicting. If only there was a better way. Oh, hold on. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ever heard of Roblox?
I love kids, Charlie! I love kids!
That's right. Starting in 2024, the popular game site Roblox has started to be infested with asymmetrical horror games. Now, you might be wondering, what are they? Why are they? Why are they on Roblox? And are they a good alternative to Dead by Daylight? Well, that's what we're here to find out. But where to start our journey? Yeah, that'll do. Forsaken is the second asymmetrical horror game that I played on Roblox. The first one comes later, and is by far the most popular one of the platform, regularly getting more players than Dead by Daylight. Is that popularity deserved? I'd say it mostly is. The Forsaken's gameplay is a complete 180 from DBD. Both sides are in third person. Survivors have a health bar instead of health states. Chases are much more dependent on juking the killer than running around a rock for 20 minutes. And most importantly, the survivors can fight back. This simple mechanic incentivizes teamwork far more than anything in Dead by Daylight. And by teamwork, I mean Sentinels only using it to save their sorry ass. No, I'm not salty whatsoever. How could you tell I'm Lucifer? There's also different survivors that aren't simply cosmetic. Each survivor has a unique moveset and brings something unique to the table. Let's go over them one by one. Noob. Noob's job is to fiercely and bravely run the fuck away and hide. Your abilities are allowed to extend chase and to waste the killer's time. If you're playing a little bit LMS, the killer isn't directly next to you, you've probably won. Shidletsky, our first sentinel and the character's most beginner will play, solely due to the fact that he can heal himself. Your job is to lure the killer and trick him into getting close so you can hit him with your sword. But let's be real, you'll miss that swing anyway. Elliot, the only reliable killer in the game, is a character that should be defended at all costs. If you play, because let's be real, if you play him, you're gonna get targeted to hell back. Guest 1337. Guest players fall in just 3 stereotypes: the survivalist, the guy who defends his team, and ego guests. Please, for the love of God, defend your fucking team. 07-7. Noob, if he sucked ass. Builderman, the engineer, is Angie here. Short of building teleporters, David I Defend Pato's Bazooki's Lego OC Do Not Steal is literally Engineer TF2. He's also the second most broken character in the game. I wrote this shit before the fucking 2-time nerf. Now he's the most broken one. His sentry completely knocks down an area from the killer with the correct placement, forcing them to destroy it or suffer losing every chase in that area due to slowness. His dispenser also heals teammates, but it's not really that much. Chance.
Let's go gambling!
Dusakar, the best survivor in the game and nobody can tell me otherwise. But for real, Dusakar can make or break a chase with his plasma beam. And his spawn protection can completely nullify many of the killer's abilities. Downside is, the killer will most likely turn to you and break your spine over the knee. 2-time. Taff.
I'm gonna fly some planes into a couple buildings in Manhattan.
The survivor's main task is staying alive until the timer runs out. Dying results in more time being added. You can lower the time by doing generators. However, these generators are a long shot from the snore fest that the last patch were, because these generators are actually interactive. Aside from that, you have to do what your role is designed to do in order to survive. Because surviving and doing gens means you get two things: money and killer chance. That's right. In this game, you have to play survivor in order to play killer. That way, there's not a dividing community. No, sir. At least not as much. But these people argue over more important things. Just look at this tier list. Never mind, these people are morons. Speaking of the killers, let's go over them. Jason, a slasher now. Seriously, they picked this guy as a starter killer? Jeez, no wonder new players hate him. Cool Kid is by far the easiest killer in the game. Cool Kid has everything but a highlight. He's got a charge, a range attack, minions, and a cool LMS team. Pun intended. John Doe, the most well-known of the killers. John Doe is considered to be the weakest out of our merry cast of murderers. I disagree. John Doe definitely takes getting used to, but once you get the hang of him, he's more than enough. I just wish the spikes didn't block what I was aiming at. Noli. 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. This is the main ranged killer, and by ranged, I mean only in abilities. He's also allegedly the best killer in the game. Yeah, okay, buddy. He's also the slowest killer in the game, but can make up for it. If you land your abilities, that is. For the love of God. I wrote this part before the slasher update. I was gonna tell people to turn the epileptic mode on if they hate the glitching effect, but now they changed it, so don't do that. It will just make taff traps be more annoying. Killers have to, surprise, surprise, kill all survivors. You get 4 minutes on your timer to do so. Every dead survivor adds 30 seconds to the clock. Playing killer can be difficult, especially if there's a lot of sentinels. However, once you get used to the game's mechanics, and let's be honest here, gank, you'll be killing people in no time. Then you get to LMS. Despite the fact that Forsaken may have caused the Roblox asymmetrical game epidemic, and caused every game to use the old retro style, which is a bit of an eyesore, it itself is a good game. Not without its faults, but good nonetheless. It's an innocent little asim. Wait, what's that noise? Oh goody, I get to talk about my favorite one. Pillar Chase 2, the only one with a thug in its starter cast. As stated previously, Pillar Chase 2 is my favorite one out of the available roster of Roblox ASINs. Sure. So surely, there must be a reason for my praise. Yeah, it is. Unlike Forsaken, these killers are based on internet horror icons rather than Roblox myths. And that makes them much more interesting as characters. Now, of course, some are more well known than others. But, you know, still, just take a look though. This game has such a colorful cast of characters, such as Reddy Hall, Filth Ultrakill.
Yeah, fuck me in the ass and call me Patricia.
His ass is not blue. You see, he's a Sonic EXE, but he's not Sonic EXE. You can't be confusing with the fun one, Buff Chris Pratt, transgender representation. Who? Mentally challenged. Totally not bendy, guys. I would have put something here, but I got Jeff the Kill. Blade Ninja's Furry OC.
Gone. Reduced to atoms.
Each one providing a unique playstyle and strategy. Some are better than others, but let's ignore that. Survivor, on the other hand, doesn't have any unique features. They just survive. They get some abilities, sure, but only one or two are viable. Still, running away from the killer is more than enough of you. So suck it up and manage your stamina. Now, despite its glaring flaws, such as Survivor gameplay getting a bit repetitive after completing all your tasks, it's still my favorite one. Why? I don't know. But it does have Fogborn. Shame you can't use Sonic EXE anymore. If only there was something I had him in it. Oh wait! I lied. This wasn't about Sonic EXE. This was about metal, baby! Outcome Memories comes in as a third game, and is by far one of the most unique of the bunch, choosing to forgo the Roblox altogether and instead use the Sonic franchise for its main appeal. Being directly based off of the now deleted Sonic EXE The Disaster, a game which I have not played. I'm glad I didn't too. This shit looked like Looney Tunes. They have to get their faces bashed in with a hammer. Speaking of hammers, we're starting off with killer gameplay this time, because this Blood-Eye Rodent's fucking dreadful. Well, not really. I'm just salty I forgot to get EXE footage for this video. Still, I wish it was easier to tell what the attack hitbox is. Now, for what people actually play this game for. That's right. This is the only game on the list that people prefer the survivors over the killers. Well, at least until we get the interesting ones. Our merry cast of characters, thus far there will be more, are Sonic, the reliable all-arounder. Tails. Nobody plays Tails. Knuckles, the tried and true block and punch character that every ASIM on this platform needs. Eggman bravely ran away. Cream, the Keeler. Can you guess which one's the EXE targets? Amy, buss as fuck. And Metal? Metal is just King Von in Sonic form. I don't care if I die, not as long as I stun that bastard. I wanted this part to be longer, but I don't have that much to say. It's simple but fun. Oh yeah, the OST fucking bangs though. Holy shit. let's get to the lesser ones. I say lesser like all of them don't get more players than Pillar Chase of the regular.
And yeah, you see here, I'm very retro.
Man, I feel like an OG player in 2006.
Die of Death, originally made as a parody of Forsaken, eventually grew into its own game, with its own unique gameplay, killers, and Forsaken crossovers. You either die a hero, live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Where Die of Death differs with others is that in this one, instead of choosing survivor abilities, or not having any at all, it's based completely on luck, utilizing its card system for survivor. And somehow, every single time you draw cards, there will be at least one good set. Wow, game, you're really making something of yourself. Too bad the maps are horrible. The retro art style Loki makes me want to gouge my fucking eyes out. The gameplay is really fun though. What about the killers? I think they're done well. I especially like the concept of Killdroid being a truly ranged killer. Now, of course, there's ranged killer in the other ones, whether it be having ranged abilities or whatever the fuck Valum's hitbox is. This one, everything is ranged, aside from its explosions. Now, besides that, Pursuer is the most fun one I've tried. Artful was a fucking waste of money. Badwer is boring, and Harkin is a character that exists in this game. Most of the people watching probably didn't know that. Now, I must say, this is probably the most well-balanced one. Great work getting Killed of Demise. You managed to offset your horrendous art style. I'm running out of shit to talk about here. Let's see. Yeah, that'll do. "40 minutes to play Killer Q Time Son? Or 40 minutes of Survivor gameplay to play Killer Daughter?" Our second game in the lesser known category is FPES, and that is FPES and not FPS. This is not a shooter game. And I have no fucking clue what this game is about. You can tell, because unlike the other Sandrigs in this part, this doesn't have themed background music. Instead, it has my go-to form of music. Yugoslav war songs. Seriously, I just saw it in my recommended, thought the art style looked cool, checked the description, saw that it was an ASIM and pressed play. These games are like fucking crack to me. I have an issue. Now, despite my lack of knowledge of what these things are, I continued sounding like Adam Smasher in that one scene every time I saw a mural on the walls or an NPC.
Who the fuck are you?
Survivor gameplay is really bare bones. You just kind of hide from the killers or try to run away. Emphasis on try, because if you don't have someone slower than you, you're fucking dead. But the good news is, you can respawn if you die. Now, respawning doesn't give you the extra bonus rewards that you would get if you survived the night, but it's better than spectating some fuck-ass randoms playing the game instead of you. Alright, now that you got your killer chance high enough, it's time to pick your killer. Here's your choices. White woman, white woman, white woman, kill yourself! Except I lied. There's no choice. The game picks them out for you. Now, to make up for that, this game probably has the most fun killers out of all of them. Good job, white women. You win this time. Now, yeah, it really just allows you to go on a fucking rampage. White woman number 1 gets angry and one-shots people. It also turns your fucking screen red so you can barely fucking see anything. White woman 2. Stomping a good job, mate. She can fire her knife and thing. Whatever the fuck these... What the fuck are these designs, dude? 2 shots to the body, 1 shot to the head. if you play Sniper exclusively with a classic and go for no scopes, this one's for you. Miss Thavo is my personal favorite, design-wise and gameplay-wise. You can tell because I bothered to remember her name. This bitch is fucking crazy, jumping on people and running on all fours, both of which will stagger you if you hit the fucking wall. Trust me, nothing beats slamming your head on the wall with all your might. Ain't I right, MX? And last but not least, we have Deltalis. I don't care if whatever the fuck she's from uses the delta as a stylized A. As long as I'm living in this fucking shithole, I'll say the letter as it is. Deltalis is a character locked behind a $10 paywall. This is kind of scummy, isn't it? Right, locking character behind the paywall. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, better off this way. I don't want anyone having this bitch. She completely ruins the pace of the fucking game. You can be sitting there for Survivor. You can be sitting there at Survivor, right? You haven't died the entire match. You've outrun the killer twice. This is your best match yet. And all of a sudden, this bitch's shit meter fills up, and now you get teleported to bumfuck nowhere. There's an eye, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Then this black mass just fucking walks up to you and murders you. Why? And she can also kill the killers? I worked hard for this killer chance. I don't want to lose it to some fucking teenager, I assume. I don't know what the fuck is going on. What is this about? I'm gonna have to look this shit up. But seriously, there better be some fucking Shakespearean level lore to this. Otherwise, this bitch just makes no sense. Well, I guess no game's killer role is perfect. Now that I think about it, Bodhi would fit right into this game. He's a murderous teacher, they're murderous teachers, he'd fit right in. At least I think these three are teachers. If they allow you to teach after suffering so many concussions that your brain looks like Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens, you must be doing something right. Speaking of doing something right, I wanted to finish off this video by mentioning an upcoming ASIM that caught my eye by the name of Camp Cataclysm. This will be a pillar-chasing-inspired game that is set to release sometime soon, no date given. So you know it's good, it's based on pillar chasing. Now from what has been shown thus far, it looks promising. The models are good, the music is banging, and the character roster is full of interesting and visually appealing characters. And yeah, he even has the one who watches and John. And John is ripped as shit? Two Minecraft horror mods? Sign me the fuck up! Like, you already know that this game is gonna get around 1K players. See, because getting a 1K players is better than getting like 10K players on this site. Because you know that if it has 1K players, it's probably really good. Wait, what the fuck is Violence District? This is just a DBD clone! We're back at the start! Fuck! No, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, my fucking goodwill is gone. I'm fucking tired of this garbage. Fuck you. Okay, but the real question is, which character from these games could clone the drone in the danger zone?